The mirror bunnyman often shows up near this bridge. A psychopath in a bunny suit hacked victims with an axe. Avoid the bridge at night. Sightings later began.
He left a string of crimes in a small U.S. town. The bridge he frequented is listed among America's 10 most haunted. Is the Bunnyman killer real? And would you explore here at night?
Hi, I'm Ollie. Today, America's urban legend, Bunnyman. Our story goes back to 1865, shortly after the American Civil War ended. In Virginia, there was a small town called Fairfax County, where they had built a mental hospital to house some of the mentally ill produced during the war and some vagrants. Fairfax County sits near Washington, D.C., so public safety should be good, at least in theory. The asylum was built in the suburbs, but after the war ended, the population rose and the city expanded, pushing it into town, which drew strong public resentment and protests from residents. No choice. In 1902, the local government moved all mental patients to a suburban place called Lorton Reformatory, renting several prison wagons to haul them. But during transport, an accident happened. A prison van inexplicably flipped off the highway, landing upside down in the nearby woods. Over a dozen patients seized the chance and escaped. Later, the driver recalled apparently they fought inside, causing the transport crash. Police launched a manhunt. Most psychiatric patients were recaptured, but 2 stayed missing. Marcus Worcester and Douglas Graffin for days, with no trace. Over time, odd events surfaced. Locals found rabbit bodies in the nearby woods, dissected and showing clear signs of being partly eaten. Locals guessed 2 mentally ill men lived hunting rabbits. Police searched for suspects but caught none, then figured it was just some wild rabbits killed. No crime. So after a brief probe, dropped it. But unexpectedly, 6 months later, Marcus's body was found on a nearby bridge, and that bridge is called Colchester Bridge. As you can see, the structure of this bridge is actually very unusual. There are railroad tracks on top where trains pass, while below is a tunnel for pedestrians and vehicles to use. When Marcus's body was found, it had been hung by a rope above the bridge tunnel. When the police went to check, they also found a note in his pocket that read, "You'll never catch me. I'm the Rabbit Man." So the question is, did accomplice Douglas do it? And is the note's Rabbit Man actually Douglas himself? Police then questioned the psych hospital doctors about Douglas's history. They confirmed he adored rabbits, often drawing them and posting the sketches on his ward wall. I still don't get why loving rabbits would make him hunt them. But it's almost certain the note's Rabbit Man is Douglas. Pretty edgy kid stuff. This case was his first crime right after escaping. Police got reports from 2 costume shops. Both said a rabbit suit was stolen. Afterward, things got stranger. Locals often reported seeing at night a person in a rabbit suit with a long-handled axe on suburban roads, especially near Colchester Bridge. Locals also call this bridge Bunnyman Bridge here. This bridge seems normal by day, but at night it gets eerie. Locals won't dare linger there at all. Police restarted manhunt, but Douglas still escaped. It wasn't until the following year, in 1903 in Shengji, that an even more terrifying thing happened. At the time there were 7 young people in the town. They'd long heard about Tiran Kiao, which was said to be very creepy, so they decided to explore it on Halloween night to see who was braver. They drove to the edge of Tiran Bridge that night. 7 youths lit a bonfire in the cave, smoking and drinking, joking and bragging. But a girl, Adrian, stayed scared still throughout. She feared something bad might happen, but her friends mocked. "What's to fear? We're together. Nothing will happen." While they were joking and fooling around, Adrian felt as if something on the bridge was moving. Then, through the arch of the bridge, she saw some pebbles slowly rolling down and could hear some strange noises. Ding, ding, ding. Like iron tapping rails. Adrian steels himself and steps out from the bridge tunnel into the open air. He looked up, and at that moment he noticed a beam of light on the bridge. Behind it he could faintly see a person holding a flashlight standing there, peering down at him. "Adrian, terrified, ran quickly and told friends. "THTH, there's someone on the bridge." They laughed. "You're too tense. Just a passersby. Nothing unusual here." But on second thought, who would be walking alone on the train tracks in the middle of the night? Adrian couldn't take it anymore and bolted. After sprinting a few dozen meters, he glanced back and saw the figure from the bridge easing down the sloped sides of the tunnel and stopping at the mouth. In the beam of his flashlight and the campfire, everyone this time saw a rabbit head mask and a long-handled axe in his hands. Then a horrified scream rang under the bridge. Adrian fled, jumped in his car, and sped to nearby police station to report it. Friends said, "I'm not in the car yet." When police arrived, 4 of 6 were injured, 2 dead. Rabbit man gone. Police sealed the scene, launched a major sweep of nearby woods with K9s, and at 4 a.m. found a crude little cabin hidden in trees. And inside the cabin, they found a very worn-out rabbit costume. And around the cabin they finally found the rabbit man who had been hiding. With police closing in, Rabbit Man was forced onto Bunnyman Bridge, just as police were about to lose him. A train from afar roared in, killing the Rabbit Man on impact. Hearing that Rabbit Man was still free made me uneasy, but once I learned he was hit dead, I relaxed. The police then took off the Rabbit Man's mask and discovered that it was the long-missing Douglas. I thought it was over. 2 Ren died. The farce should have ended, but I was wrong. It was only the start of everything after that. By now the story's got me fidgeting, but the real can't sit still feeling usually isn't from a tale. It's from hemorrhoids. Jitong Daohei's friends surely know that misery, especially when you're trapped sitting through the night. Luckily, trusted China resources Sanju developed 999 Xiaoji ointment, OTC certified, to clear heat, stop bleeding, reduce swelling, all herbal formula. 3 core ingredients: easing discomfort, Bear Bao cuts swelling pain fast, Borneo calms itch, repairs damaged mucosa, astringes, stops bleeding, handles internal, external, no musk, gentle, non-irritating, so you won't fear close contact surprises anymore. Safe for preconceived, plain white tube, discreet and portable. 1 dose per use. Insert to apply, then toss. Clean, hygienic, non-sticky hands. For 999 Shioji ointment. Guaranteed. Right now if you need it. Click the comments link. Tell support the code Zhidingningsing. Buy 2. Save 20 yuan. Before long it was 1976, and there was a college student named Brian Conley who was majoring in history. Once at a college party, he happened to hear a friend tell the story of the Rabbit Man killer, but at the time he didn't take it very seriously. After college, he coincidentally landed a job at Fairfax County Public Library, becoming an information specialist right there too. One day in 1992, something strange happened. An anxious woman came to the library looking for Bulin to learn about a murder that had occurred near her home decades earlier. Brian wondered, "We weren't born then. How do you even know this happened here?" She told him, "You might not know this, but it's well known on our street. There's a bridge nearby. They say kids went there to play and were attacked by a madman. And weirdest part, this lunatic wore a bunny suit. It made my skin crawl. So I'm asking you what happened back there exactly." This sparked Brian's curiosity. Wasn't this the tale I heard in college? And could it be real? So Brian chose to find her the truth. Their local library feels like those old libraries in it or Stranger Things. Stacked with decades of local newspapers and news reports inside. If the Rabbit Man really existed, you'd definitely have official or news records. So Brian used his info specialist edge, searched, and to his surprise, uncovered some real evidence there. He found the Washington Post ran a story on October 19, 1970. There was a cadet at the United States Air Force Academy named Robert Bennett. He and his fiancée had originally gone to a ball game that night, and after the game it was already about midnight. They got ready to drive home together. As they drove onto Gia Road, Robert suddenly remembered an uncle lived nearby. Since they were already there, He suggested stopping in to visit him. I don't know American customs. If visiting relatives at midnight is normal, but it already sounded like trouble ahead. As Robert pulled over roadside, he suddenly, just then, spotted something move. Next came a bang. Their window shattered. Someone in white stared in from outside, and he seemed to be wearing bunny ears. This badly scared the couple. Robert floored it and fled fast. As they sped off, Robert glanced in the rear view. The man still stood behind the car, staring, and Robert thought he heard, "I noted your plate." After they escaped, they parked the car in a safe place, and when they got out to check, they discovered that their car's front windshield had been completely shattered, and that a short-handled axe was embedded in the middle of the glass. So they called police at once. When officers investigated, Robert insisted he saw a figure in a white suit wearing a rabbit head mask. But his fiancée disagreed, insisting the attacker just wore a white headscarf. Its two corners stuck up like rabbit ears, so Robert likely misread it. Robert insisted he was right. Air Force. 5.0 vision can't air. Sure. Police found no fingerprints on the axe and no suspicious people nearby, so the case was finally dropped completely unresolved. The axe is still on display in a local Fairfax County museum, and just when everyone thought Robert had been mistaken, 10 days later something strange happened again. Back then, the town opened a new neighborhood called Kings Park West. That night, security guard Paul Phillips patrolled nearby, and just as he walked up to a newly built house, he suddenly noticed someone who appeared to be standing on the front porch of one of the houses, acting suspiciously. So he shone flashlight there. Who? To his shock, he realized the stranger wore a rabbit head mask, and just then the figure spun around. Paul recalled seeing a long-handled axe in his hand, like a horror movie weapon. And then he went wild, hacking the outside wall and posts, yelling, "You're trespassing on my land! Leave now, or I'll cut off your head!" Sensing trouble, Paul dashed to his car, grabbed the scanner, and saw the rabbit man already carrying an axe deep into the forest. Ran fast. Lucky. Later, Paul told police the rabbit man was an adult, about 1.7 meters tall and 160 pounds. From voice and build, he seemed a white man in his 20s. Then the Washington Post reported it, instantly igniting residents' panic again. Then over 50 more sightings came in. Reaching Washington, D.C., a child reported being tailed at night by someone in a rabbit suit. An elderly woman said the rabbit man killed her cat too. Agent Johnson led the investigation at the time, but he still couldn't find a single real breakthrough. Beyond many sightings, police had no solid leads. Just then, out of nowhere, he got a phone call. The call was from a representative of a construction company in Guangzhou. They said their company was threatened. A guy on the phone, calling himself Axeman, warned, "You're trashing my land. Come see me tonight. We'll talk it out, and all problems go away for good." The real estate mayor wasn't dumb. He knew a guard nearly got attacked by the rabbit man, so he called police immediately, and provided a very important clue. The voice on the other end sounded particularly like that of a young white man. Johnson snapped alert. It matched the guard's earlier testimony exactly, and both mentioned an axe. Johnson brought cops to the spot to stake out. They waited overnight, but saw no Axeman. The police were stood up, and the case once again hit a dead end. But after that, Rabbit Man vanished. Police still never caught any suspect later. Agent Johnson had to label all the cases unsolved. After finding official records, Brian finally believed the Rabbit Man truly existed. But it doesn't add up. The era. Only 2 1970s cases have official reported records. But that series of so-called legends from 1903 actually has no written evidence to be found. So are these things really true? I checked. Fairfax County never built an asylum at all, and Lorden Reformatory, where the legend says patients went, opened in 1910, not 1903, so it's off. So no prison van crash or patient escape happened. Rabbit Man Douglas likely never existed. As for why this Bunnyman legend existed, The biggest reason I can think of is that parents back then probably just didn't want their kids running off to play at Bunnyman Bridge late at night. Thinking over, it makes sense. Tracks on the bridge mean a train could hit you. A road below means cars could too. Either way, it's unsafe. So parents invented a tale. Don't go there. Over time, so-called experts kept retelling it, until it turned into a bizarre legend. Lots of urban legends began like this. Bear grandma, and such. At home and abroad. Just adults trying to scare kids. Why the Bunnyman resurfaced in the 1970s, I suspect, was conflict from rapid urbanization. Fairfax County kept expanding. New construction swallowed old suburban land, and longtime residents may have been especially resentful about the changes. So they dressed up as the Bunnyman to scare developers and cruise away. And why a bunny? Likely because they'd grown up hearing the local Bunnyman killer legend. An early American classic holdout tactic? Still, Bunnyman Bridge is now a famed local spot. Every Halloween, many tourists come here to check in. Bridge packed with Bunnyman graffiti. Locals opened a Bunnyman tavern. Customers sip booze while the owner tells Bunnyman tales. Super atmospheric. They even opened a second shop last year there, at Louadoun Renovation Yard. This reformatory is now closed. An arts center, yet it keeps its original Stark prison design. Not sure why, but the more I read, the more I suspect the tavern owner is the Rabbit Man. He profits